You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrans for Black and White Sports. Let's talk about the NBA and WNBA players reacting to the grand jury decision on the Breonna Taylor case. That just got handed down. I did a video on my channel over it, and we were watching for reaction from around the sports leagues, the NFL, the woke NBA, woke WNBA, and as we figured, many of the players have decided to ignore facts in the case that were presented from Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who happens to be black. Again, I don't know how this is tying into race. The leftists have made it all about race, but let's talk about, this is from uprocks.com. On Wednesday afternoon, Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron announced the decision from the grand jury regarding charges for 3 officers who raided the home of Breonna Taylor and her boyfriend in late March and killed Taylor, who was unarmed. Cameron announced that only one officer, Sergeant Brett Hankinson, would be charged after all, and that his crime was merely, quote, wanton endangerment. I should clarify, Uprocks, much like ESPN, is woke as hell. For firing shots into other apartments unrelated to Taylor's death, athletes across the NBA and WNBA who have called and fought for justice in this case all summer swiftly and bravely and stunningly rushed to social media to give their takes. Here we go. Donovan Mitchell. I don't have many words right now, but all I can say is I'm praying for the city of Louisville right now. I hope to God he's praying for the thugs and the idiots and the BLM and Antifa that will probably come into town and unjustly burn that town up. I hope that's what you are praying about. Now, Montrezl Harrell. I lived in Ville for 3 years of my life, and it became another home to me. But what now? What's happened? These charges, these are the charges you actually come up with. Nothing to say, but wow, speechless. I will promise you I will give you my take on this after we get done. Then he's got the little frowny faces. Many others responded as well. Lashia Khalid from the WNBA. I hope I said her name right. I don't know if I did or not. We knew the news was not going to be good when Louisville police chief declared a state of emergency preemptively. My heart breaks for Tamika Palmer all over again. We will not be silent and accept a state-sanctioned murder and extreme lack of accountability time and time again. This is why the police need to be defunded and ultimately abolished. We, time and time again, hope for a sliver of justice, but why would we get that when the system is designed to protect the very folks that are murdering and terrorizing us? This isn't a bad apple, it's a rotten tree. Washington Mystics center Tiana Hawkins, whose son the team rallied around all year in an effort to create brighter and less dangerous future for him, questioned how charges could be considered justice at all. He was charged with endangerment for shooting in, quote, other apartments. Still, there are no charges and no one being accountable for Breonna Taylor's murder. Chicago Sky head coach James Wade, one of only 2 black coaches in the WNBA, called out how little black life means to society. Wow, this comes as no surprise, but this is really bad. I don't understand what we stand for and why life doesn't mean anything. Jamal Crawford offered this. I know they didn't think paying money to Breonna Taylor's family was enough. Justice is worth more. The cops that murdered Breonna Taylor knew this is how this would play out from the moment it happened. They were never worried about justice being served. Isaiah Thomas said you can't put a price on justice. They know exactly what they're doing. And DeMarcus Cousins, Boogie, slapped on the wrist for murder, but 10 years for tearing down a punk-ass statue. Okay, now let me get to ripping these dumbass shits a new one. Because look, the Kentucky Attorney General went through and could not have explained what happened any more clearly. Number one, the false narrative of a no-knock warrant. Yes, they issued a no-knock warrant, but they did not serve it as a no-knock warrant. The police announced themselves. There was a witness to that. And, by the way, Breonna Taylor was not sleeping in her bed. When the police entered the apartment, Kenneth Walker had his gun drawn on the police already. Breonna Taylor was standing next to him. Her boyfriend opened fire, and the cops shot. Breonna Taylor was killed. There was no way Breonna Taylor, those officers, would have been charged with murder, and if they had been, there would have been a massive failure of the legal system. I absolutely agree with Brett Hankinson being charged with wanton endangerment because, yeah, bullets went into an adjoining apartment next door where people was at that had nothing to do with this. I can understand those charges. This attorney general made things very clear in this. Look, the feds were involved in the investigation, and they investigated it on a local level. And I saw online people want to continue to just make up their own facts in this case. I don't understand why people keep doing that. Breonna Taylor was not some shining light to society. She had been part of a drug ring. She was no longer an EMT. She had got let go from being an EMT back because they found a dead body in a rental car that was rented in her name. The absolute idiocy of people when it has come to this case is baffling. And these players, NBA and WNBA alike, are irresponsible because they don't want to see facts. They want to react on emotion only. Breonna Taylor was not murdered. Kenneth Walker opened fire and she was caught in the crossfire, period. If you want to blame a murder on anybody, blame it on Kenneth Walker. But it's not the police's fault. And why in the hell was Breonna Taylor there next to a sumbitch that was going to open fire on the police anyway? Again, why is there no call for self-responsibility? Just once, I would love for one of these athletes to step up and say, you know, maybe Breonna Taylor shouldn't have been hooked up with a damn no-good bastard that was going to open fire on the cops. Again, wasn't sleeping in the bed. That was a narrative. I'm still seeing that narrative on Twitter. The guy told you what happened. She was up. They were dressed, standing, holding a gun pointed at the cops. She was right next to Kenneth Walker. If these cops would have been charged for murder, you're damn right there should have been outrage, because it would have been false charges in the same way back in the day when the Rodney King situation happened. O.J. Simpson got off for murder, and everybody knew that was a repaying because of Rodney King. It was a publicity stunt. O.J. Simpson was guilty, and they would not hand down a guilty verdict because they were scared of rioting. That's it. O.J. walked because of it. These athletes, I'm not even going to give them a pass anymore. They know the facts to this case. They are working off of emotion, and in turn, they're spreading a false narrative. Again, Daniel Cameron, the Kentucky Attorney General, who is a black man, what this has to do with race, I don't know, other than the fact that these people want to make it about race. They want to say, this is about Breonna Taylor being black. No, nobody is saying that Breonna Taylor's death, it was a tragedy. Of course it was. Okay? Nobody wishes for somebody to have died. Okay? But again, she was in a place she should not have been in. Self-responsibility. And I don't understand. These players are not taking self-responsibility. They are not out there. They're talking about emotion. They're talking about murder. This was not murder. Under any circumstances was this murder. It's lunacy. It's lunacy, and it's dangerous because too many people see what these players are saying. They have made something about race because the left-leaning media has told them this is all about race. This was not about race. I have to wonder, I don't understand why people don't want to process the facts in this case. And to abolish the police over this, you're a lunatic. You're a literal, utter lunatic. Tell us what you think, black and white sports fans. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.